It is the Sports Fix here on Flow FM. Let's check out the weekend's results now from Mid-North Cricket. We've got Northern Areas, Stanley and Rocky River Cricket to have a look at with James Lang, who's back again. James, how are you, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
I think we just got to tip our hats to anyone who was able to put a team on the park this week. Everyone's trying to get crop off everywhere at the moment, so putting a team on the park is a challenge in itself.
There's probably several teams available at the grain receival hubs at Gladstone, at Snowtown, at Roseworthy. Just with some inclement weather and some concerns, I think farming certainly took the forefront in the past week, and I can appreciate that.
First thing we will mention, Bullaroo, Wollawi, Bundaleer. That game didn't go ahead, obviously. I think it was Bundaleer who officially, in inverted commas, forfeited. But we won't be having a crack at anyone under those circumstances at the moment, I wouldn't have thought.
No, that's fair enough. Some of those players at Bundaleer and some of their farms have copped upwards of 200 mils of rain for November, so I'm very keen to get their grain repped and carted. So, and the Bullaroo boys, I'm sure a lot of them took their afternoon off and went farming anyhow. So they probably all ran into one another at the silos.
No doubt. I'm sure that particularly the Wollawi boys would have been pretty happy so when the news come through. Back on the
they're all reaping barley, so that's very important. We need that as a key ingredient in our favourite beverage.
Here. I think through this reaping time, everyone in the city that hasn't got a game of cricket lined up should just go down and help out, just to make sure that barley gets to silo.
Very much so. That would be very kind of them.
Let's talk about the games that we did get through. Orroroo, they stay on top, 7 for 156. They beat Peter Carrington 9 for 123. Good game of cricket.
Very good game of cricket. Orroroo really working hard to try and secure a top two spot, and they've just created a bit of distance between them and the logjam that's starting to form in the middle of the table. So they batted first, put together 7 for 156. The veteran Johnny Sheehan chipped in with 48. Young Jed Dignan, 36. And the wickets were shared amongst the Peak Carrington bowlers. In reply, Peak Carrington finished at 9 for 123. Not too many scores of note. Zach Naismith top scoring with 25. And again, the wicket takers were very much shared. So a pretty good all-round effort from Orroroo.
Yeah, indeed. Low scores were the order of the weekend, so that was probably one of the better ones, 7 for 156. And Orroroo, at the moment, chasing down the top side, which is Borough, who didn't have it all their own way against Wilmington Melrose. They did pretty well with the ball, but there would have been just a little bit of nervousness with the bat, although a regular face has seen them home comfortably in the end.
Yeah, probably a few pastoralists in the Borough side as opposed to the inside country farmers, so probably less impacts there in relation to the farming season, but they obviously bowled very well, and again, very much lots of shared wickets there to knock Wilmington Melrose over for 91. Stalwart Desi Taylor returning for 20 runs, proved not to be enough. Borough finished 5 for 97, a couple of hiccups early, but Sam Matty chipped in with an unbeaten 41 and firmly entrenched on top of the ladder. They are in some stellar form at the moment. 15
wickets for less than 200 runs in that game, but even more wickets for around about the same in the next one. What about this as a thriller? You would have been chewing the fingernails off, I reckon. Balali Manineri against Spalding Boobarawi. I think Balali chased and just snuck home, mate.
Yeah, not a good day for the batters, particularly that one. 10 for 97, Spalding Boobarawi. They had a terrible start. At one stage were 6 for 29, but Alex Morgan played a splendid hand, the skipper, with 60. He was helped out by Albert Dolphin, chipped in with a good partnership. He chipped in with 14. For the Balali Manineri side, Shannon Fielding had a day out. 4 wickets for 10 runs from his 8 overs. Brilliant fielding side, Spalding Boobarawi, and a very good bowling side as well. Balali Manineri did slump for 2 for 8, and then had a flurry of wickets to get to 9 for 81 and managed to sneak in at 9 for 98.
Oh.
The veteran Albert Dolphin chipping in with 3 wickets, including a one-handed caught and bowl. He really turned the clock back.
It doesn't get any tighter than that. 9 for 98, chasing 97. That tells you what sort of a weekend it was all round, really.
Pretty much, yes. I can tell you there were a couple of veterans out there in the middle who were tonguing it a bit, but that's cricket.
It is. So Let's have a look at the matchups to come in this competition. And I believe with the test match coming up, as we're seeing all across the state, this will be the last game to be played before the Christmas break. So at Vic Park, Ballaley Mataneri, a pretty firm test here. They failed the last one against Borough. They've got Orroroo coming to town. This will be interesting.
Huge game, this one. They've joined the other clubs at the logjam in the middle of the table, but if they were able to sneak one past Orroroo, that would certainly bring them right back into finals contention. But it's just too hard to go past Orroroo. They are in some really, really good form and must-start favourites.
At Booberawi, we've got the home side, Sporting Booberawi, welcoming Peakner Carrington to town, and the Peakner boys, there won't be much in this, but I reckon I'll tip the Peakner crew.
Be an interesting one. Matt Longbottom and Zach Fielding were missing on the weekend, who are probably their two best players. If they did make a reappearance, they will be extremely difficult to beat. If not, flip of the coin. You'd have to say Sporting Booberawi at home, but that should be a pretty good game.
One game that I don't think we'll have any trouble tipping is the next one at Borough, the home side, Bullaroo Wallawi. They got to put their feet up last week, but I don't think they'll get any such luxury this week.
The Borough Eagles are flying high. There's no doubt about that. They will be extremely hard to beat. This could be a rare week where Sam Matty doesn't make a big pile of runs, but that just doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. The man is in great form.
The last game is, hopefully we get one here. Bundaleer, if they can get enough crop off, due to face Wilmington Melrose. My suggestion is if anyone's listening that would mind a game of cricket, go and help the Bundaleer crew out this week while they look after that barley for us.
Yeah, out there at Bear Park, out at the Bundaleer Forest, Wilmington Melrose have gone down to Bundaleer a few times in the last couple of years, so they'd be really trying to pick one back. Bundaleer, if they can get a good side on the park, they are hard to face at home. You'd probably tip them just.
Let's move into the Stanley Cricket Association now. We had some very interesting games here. Blythe Kybunga, they took on Seven Hill. We've been talking Seven Hill up about the form that they were in. Well, Blythe Kybunga had other ideas. They beat them at Blythe Oval by nearly 100 runs in the end. 223 batting first was more than enough.
Yeah, very good performance by Blythe Kybunga. Really seem to be coming on. We probably talked up 7 Hill too early, and now they've come back to bite us. But Tyson Imey chipping in there with 85. Riley Sterling amongst the runs again with 43. Wickets were shared around fairly well amongst the Seven Hill bowlers. Set a reasonable target, obviously there with Ben Harrell chipping in with 3, and then a bit of a staggered start for Seven Hill, losing 3 wickets for 35. Probably didn't help their cause at the start. The Blythe Kybunga Bulldogs, Charat Singh picking up 5 wickets. Certainly a strong performance there. And for Seven Hill, I talked up Scott Kirshner, and I don't think he played, but Andrew Stewart chipped in with a half century. Good win by Blythe Kybunga, just starting to set the season up nicely now.
Yes, so they're going along nicely. As are, Brinkworth Kalunga. They beat Auburn Montero very comfortably in the end. And there's that Meyer name again just popping up in the wickets column. Auburn Montero, all out for 81. That was never going to be enough.
Yeah, multiple Meyer family members, young Darcy and Paul, both chipping in with a few wickets there. Paul with 4 for 8. I did ask him if he was getting greedy, but he did say no. He is bowling at the back end of the innings. He chipped in there. Harry Pickett took 3 wickets as well. And unfortunately for Auburn Montero, not a lot of runs there, all out for 81. We know it's a difficult time of year. And Brinkworth Kalunga cruised, cleaning up Auburn Montero in only 25 overs. And for the 86 runs, the skipper in Draper picking up 44 of them. So he was flying. So very good performance by Brinkworth Kalunga. They were smarting from the defeat the week before, and they certainly bounced back.
Watervale and Clare combined. That's the last match of last week for us to have a look at. And Watervale batted first, put up a pretty good total, 158 all out, but wasn't it enough?
Yeah, they had been battling to get their best side on the park, Watervale, but they fronted up fairly well. Put together a competitive total. Wickets were shared around, which seems to be the run of the mill across the mid-north in the last couple of weeks. Clare combined just a bit too strong there, finishing at 3 for 161. So they cleaned them up in the 34th over. Again, runs were very much shared amongst the Clare combined batters there. Benny Seaman, Charlie Jones, Scott Spadale, and Dylan Stutley all chipping in. Yeah, they're just starting to come all right there, Clare combined.
So, Stanley Cricket Association, round 9 of matches this week, the last one before the break as well. Lower North, they host Brinkworth Kalunga at Balaclava. Here's an interesting game.
They've played one another in a lot of grand finals in the past decade, but Borough North are a bit like Laura and Borough. They are a juggernaut and they are on fire at the moment. They would be extremely hard to defeat.
It's going to be tough at Auburn for the home side as well. Auburn Mintaro welcoming Blythe Kaibunga to town, who are flying at the moment.
Yeah, Blythe Kaibunga, they're in very good touch. Yeah, they'd have to go in warm favourites.
And Clare Combined are going to have the week off, and they'll enjoy that. So their run to the Christmas break is done. They can go and get organised for the test match. But Seven Hill, Watervale, here's a game at the other end of the ladder, which is going to be interesting. I'm not sure who to tip here. It's at Seven Hill, so you give it to the home side.
Well, this is it almost sounds like Riesling versus Shiraz when you get down to that neck of the woods. Seven Hill have probably been in better form for the last month, so you'd largely put them in front, but it should be a very, very good game, that one.
Yep, get on the Shiraz. I reckon there is the that's the go, isn't it?
Oh, you never beat a Clare Valley Riesling.
Fair enough. All right, so that's round 9 of matches in Stanley Cricket. Let's move to Rocky River, where in the A-grade comp we just had the one of 2 matches played. I think there was a forfeit. I think Red Hill weren't able to get a side together. Is that right?
Yeah, they were very much in the harvest mode as well, so unfortunately they weren't able to get a side on the weekend, which is disappointing, but that's not uncommon across the entire SA, Victoria, WA cricket scene in the bush at the moment.
Exactly. From everything I've seen, I get to have a look at a lot of scorecards from a lot of competitions across our Flow network. We're averaging out at least one forfeit a comp, I reckon. Not to be unexpected this time of year, and I'm sure they'll have a few blokes back after Christmas. But probably a good week to not play against Laura if you're a little bit short, I would have thought.
They are a very talented side. That's to say the least.
Yeah,
and they've been probably the measuring stick for a long time.
Georgetown had the bye. Crystal Brook and Gladstone did have a game. It was over pretty quick because Gladstone could only rustle up 85 batting first, and that was never going to be enough.
No, unfortunately for Gladstone. Had a reasonable start. Obviously, losing one of their openers early in Max Flowers, but Dylan Hanson and Jamie Davidson got them off to a reasonable start. But unfortunately, once they fell, they just kept losing regular wickets. Adam Cook's picking up 4 for 10 for Crystal Brook, and Crystal Brook did it easily in the end, passing the total in 17 overs. The S. Merkel listed is not Stephen, it's his son Sam. He top scored there with 31, and Leo Coates with 29, and they flew. They were in very good form on Saturday, the Roosters.
So, around 9 again of matches here in Rocky River Cricket. Let's see how we go getting both games going this weekend. Gladstone have the bye, so they'll enjoy the Christmas break, I'm sure. Crystal Brook hosting Laura, who had the week off last week. Crystal Brook have had hit out of sorts, so you'd have to say Laura start favourite here with the form they're in. But Crystal Brook, are they a chance?
Definitely a chance. They've also clashed a lot in finals over the years. Yeah, Crystal Brook, they'll give them a fair run, but probably still say Laura to start as favourites there.
What about Red Hill and Georgetown? At Red Hill Oval, should we be able to get a game up between these two? If they're anywhere near full strength, who wins that one?
Probably say Georgetown on form. Hopefully everything will be okay for Red Hill and they can get back up and about. I know Georgetown have a couple of the guys working at the mine, so if this happens to be a week that they are available, they will be very tough to beat.
That is the week ahead, I guess, the week gone and the week ahead in Mid-North Cricket. James, before we wrap it up, anything else, mate?
Busy weeks coming up in representative cricket. So this on Sunday, the 12th of December, we'll see a combined Northern Areas and Stanley 11 called the Northeastern 11 take on a combined Rocky River and Port Pirie side. And they'll be playing at Port Pirie on the turf with essentially a trial and identification game for players for the combined Northern side for the Country Cup, which will occur after Christmas. And whilst they're junior, under 16 boys and under 16 girls squads, they'll start the combined, due to COVID, it's a combined country and metropolitan carnival, but that'll start on the 13th of December with the girls playing in the city and the boys will be playing in the Flurio. So a lot of games around Strathalbyn, Langhorne Creek, Mount Barker at the new facility there. it'll be in the heart of Panthers country as well, down towards Victor Harbour. So I'll be in my element down there with the blue and white.
You will, and I can tell you I had a look firsthand on Friday night at that new facility at Mount Barker, and it is magnificent. The pitch played really well too, so the youngsters will enjoy playing on that.
At this stage, we'll be getting a guided tour on Sunday at the Saka Country Cricket Committee meeting. The community have offered us a guided tour whilst there's one of the most highly competitive games on, which is one of the South Australian over 50s games.
Oh, look out. There'll be some rivalries there that haven't died down over the years.
The interesting, there's a York and Mid-North combined side that plays in it, and what I find difficult is some of the guys who are now teammates were anything but friendly going back in decades gone by. But it is great to see, and the guys are having a lot of fun.
All right, well, we got a bit on the agenda to talk about next week. Look forward to it, James. We'll catch up then, mate. All the best.
No worries. Thank you.